Happy Sunday to all y'all out there. Um, I'm content, I'm grateful, I'm thankful this morning. Um, I was touching on some things, I always like to build with myself, uh, speak to myself. I look at it more as it's conducive to speaking to God. But anyway, um, one thing I was pondering on was the fact that most people out here don't know the real meaning of certain qualities. You know, I hear people a lot say, I'm real. I hear people a lot say, you know, the everyday things. I love you, such and so on and so on and such and such, such and such. We really don't know the real meaning of what it means to care. We really don't know what the real meaning of what it means to love. We don't know what it means. I mean, let's be honest. The reality of it is that people have to do all these things. People have to love, have to care. Um, Anything you could think of that should be natural. We have to do these things with an ulterior motive behind it. That's bottom line. The reality is that people don't really care unless it's benefiting them. People don't really love unless, of course, they're content with themselves, they love themselves, and it's easy for them to love others. I don't know, how to even put that furthermore because that basically is it. People need to do these things because there's an ulterior motive set behind it. Now, when we talk about just being the true meaning, being real. Being real is knowing, is having value behind these words. Having value more so with yourself. How do you see yourself? Just like my shirt say, he's worth it. That's what I feel about myself. I feel that I'm worth it. It doesn't matter if someone else don't feel that you matter or that you're worth anything or that you're deserving of anything. Do you see the value within yourself? That's the whole thing. Do you see the value within yourself? That's why we have unsupportive people, even at times, ones who you think, that know you for such a long time, you grew up with and whatever like that, you would think that those would be the people that understand you, that already got to know you and stuff like that. But you'll find, not to even call them strangers, but you'll find other people from a different town, different state or whatever like that, across the water even. You'll find that these people are looking for the same person like themselves. And when they see that in you, or they feel something, because yes, everything is spiritual. Everything, it moves off of some type of mystical motion. When they're looking for what they see in you or what they feel in you, you'll come to find that you have supporters. You have people that will genuinely show the same qualities that you're about towards you. You gravitate people who are like you, but who are not family or so-called friends. And especially when it comes to business, boy, when you're building anything, see, there's a loyalty, there's a trust there, and everything like that. And those things are conducive with each other because you got to know within yourself, does this person get me? I mean, not even so much, question it. You more so show it how you are. They show how they are towards you. There's more of an energy transference that's going on between like minds. And the most successful people, Steve Jobs, if we think about successful people like Steve Jobs. I'm sure there's so many to name. What's the other guy? You have Steve Jobs, and then you have you have so many talented and successful people. Robert Kiyosaki. The list goes on. I can go all day with that. You got the most successful people who stand alone. The most successful people stand alone. Do they have friends? I'm sure they do. They probably have limited of friends. They have more people who are not related to them gravitate towards them, more than the people who you would think is supportive of them. That's why you have people who go out of their way to move to another state or another country even, because they find that success doesn't limit in just one place. In order for me to get success, or a business, successful business at that, in order for me to have that, traveling. Traveling is the key source to actually gain success. Don't limit your success to just being in one place. Just like you shouldn't limit your happiness just in one place. Like I said, the most successful people, most of them anyway. I don't personally know, of course not. But the most successful people, most of them, stand alone. Most of them have more quality time with themselves than wanting to be around so many people. And the beginning stages of that comes where they can focus more. They rid of distractions or pull themselves away from distractions or other things or just people in general. If it's not conducive to what I'm focused on, if there's a lot of drama or a lot of stress going on over there, then I need to be somewhere else where there's a lot of tranquility, where there's a lot of peace. That's how successful people think, actually. Real talk, that is how successful people think. They want to be at a place that's much more peaceful, that's much more tranquil, is more solace. There's more solitude within themselves when they can think better, when they can focus more. They don't need to be around a whole lot of people. And successful people, it's not always about the money that's in your pocket, neither. It's about you being at a place in your life where everything that tried to hinder you or so on and so on pretty much is out of the way. Out of your way anyway. You yourself is out of your own way. Because you can pretty much concentrate more on, all right, what's my next move? Without so much of this person or that person or this person or someone all in your ear or somebody trying to coax you into doing something that's left field of what you're trying to do that's right. That's how successful people think. That's how successful people move. That's how successful people feel. They don't need to be around a lot of people. It's not necessary. In most cases, it's really not. Because if you have a plan and you have a strategy and you more so need to think ahead and you moving, Do you really need a whole lot of people around you to do all that? Unless, of course, this person or that person have some generalized ideas and have strategies of their own that's conducive to what you're doing and conducive to your idea, then we can work. We can work together. We can join forces. But if it ain't happening in the city or the state or the town that you're in, then guess what? Success does not limit where you are at. It's not limited to where you're at. You can go elsewhere to get that success. Most of us were not courageous enough to say, well, I need to pack up. It's something within us. I mean, I'm a little guilty of that because I feel as though where I'm at right now, I'm in Philadelphia. I feel like I have to make it here because I'm born here. That doesn't mean that I ain't got an idea that I could take my success or my talents elsewhere. It's just that because I'm right here, a foundation of some sort has to be laid here first. That's kind of sort of what my thinking is right now. A foundation has to be laid here first before I branch out. That's just how I feel. Some people feel like, well, I'm going to move to Chicago, I'm going to move to Atlanta, or I'm going to move to Los Angeles, or I'm going to move to Houston, or I'm going to move to, you name it, New York City. Can't forget that city. You know, that's where, all, dreams, come alive, right? New York and Los Angeles, both of those cities alone. And they feel like they have to do that and then lay the foundation where they move to. And I know it's kind of sort of a limited thinking with me having to lay my foundation where I'm born and where I'm from. But I don't know, that's kind of how I feel. Kind of how I'm thinking right now. Where I'm at right now, I have to lay that foundation where I'm at in order to branch out. Because if I just pack up and go and say, well, all right, I'm going to start all over again, what about the situation that I left behind? What about the situation that I'm currently in where, shoot, let me just churn this butter. Let me get up, from my 9 to 5 and get up and work so I can make this certain amount of money so that I can set the precedent to move up out of here. Sometimes that's how you have to think too. You have to think rational about certain things. I mean, of course, I could just be like, well, if I'm going to move to another state, I could just more so call it, see if whatever field or industry or what, that same job that I'm working at in another state is there, and I can call ahead of time and say, well, am I guaranteed a job if I, move to the state or whatever? Like, it's pretty much up to you, like how you'll go about doing that. It's pretty much up to you. If you're a library assistant and you move to another state and you call the library that's there in that other state and you call them ahead of time and say, well, is there a guaranteed job opening for a library assistant in the city of Milwaukee or something like that? And if it's guaranteed, then cool. Then it could just be easy for you to just pack up and leave, but you have to have a strategy. I think I've heard this before, from maybe a few, friends of mine or whatever like that. They was talking about this, having an exit plan strategy beforehand, before you move to a different place, because you actually want to build your foundation. Like, for instance, building a foundation at a job means building years. I'm going to say that The max that you can build years at a job should be 10 years. The minimum of years that you should build at a job is 5 years. So we're looking at 5 to 10 years building a foundation already. You establishing yourself. And at that point, you could pretty much strategize. You can pretty much plan ahead. All right, this is how things are going to go. I'm going to do it this way. And then that way you have, you already have your foundation paved in stone. So once you build your 5 to 10 years at your respected job or whatever, then you're good at this point. Or most of us should be, according to how much they're paying you at the job. But like I said, you can't, for me, I mean, this is just how I'm actually thinking. If I'm working at a successful industry where I'm at, I cannot just quickly build this exit plan strategy right away and then move somewhere and then not have it all fall into place. But that's that. But I'm more so giving you insight on how successful people, what it is they're thinking about. Most of us think about money. Most of us think about our future. Most of us think about the next move. Most of us strategize. If you want to think about Sun Tzu's Art of War, Robert Greene, 40th Law. So many books out there that pretty much set the precedent of success and how to plan daily in life, period, without having to be around so much of the negativity. Going back to the subject at hand about the realism of certain words, knowing how to love, knowing how to care, knowing what it really means to be a benevolent and altruistic spirit. All these things fall into place of how successful people should be. Success doesn't mean you just put on a suit and you looking fly or whatever like that, or you got so much money, or you laughing all the way to the bank, and you got to have more than others. Being competitive in spirit. I'm gonna get to that too, competitiveness. But that's not what success. Success just really means that you are content. You're content with yourself. You know what it really means to rise above. Rise above, negative energy and know when to differentiate yourself from certain things that's not conducive to what you're doing, to your focus and your strategy. Knowing when to part ways from the distractions. Someone even told me at my job yesterday about how it's not so much going through the storm. Of course, you want to be courageous and you want to be brave going through that storm. But we have to think more about us being the eye of the storm. Being the calm that's, all that chaos that surrounds you, you being the eye of the storm. Not going through the actual hurricane, but being the eye of the hurricane. You standing still right there and everything all around you. This is how life is. Life is a hurricane. And it was profound that she was, that she said that, because I'm like, wow, now that's awesome. I like that because I never heard that before. But that's pretty much how we could think of things. A successful person becomes the eye of the storm. It's cool that you want to brave through, being courageous and braving through the storm, because that's what we all do. But take a minute to be the eye of the storm. Take a minute to be that eye of the storm. Don't concentrate so much on the storm itself or everything that's around you. Become the eye of the storm. That's meditation. That's meditation. But that's that. Competitiveness is something that a lot of us do on the daily. We compete with each other. It's not fueled behind motivation, no. True example, you take a friend to the gym with you. Your friend, he does a few reps. You know, he's real pumped. He's psyched. He's so motivated. He's doing probably, let's say he's doing 200 push-ups. So you ask your friend, well, how many push-ups you do? Well, I did 200. Well, I'm going to do more than that. That's friendly competitiveness. That's competitiveness with motivation. Not competitiveness where as though we don't know the true meaning of anything, how to care, how to love, none of that stuff, but we're just straight up competitive with each other to the point that we have no care in the world. We just need to rise above you. We need to more so step on toes just to get to where we need to go. I don't gotta care about you. I don't gotta care about none of that. What you about? It's all about me. That's the competitive mindset that we're in today, in today's society. We're competitive without being motivating or inspiring. Married couple, husband, wife, both working, successful at what they do. But husband jealous of the wife because she's making more money than he is. Why be competitive about that? It's not necessary. If anything, it should be fuel motivation for you to do better at your job. Because you're motivated by your wife to do better. To work hard to get that raise. But our jealousy nowadays in society is fueled by what? Jealousy and envy. It's not motivation and inspiration. It's jealousy and envy, not motivation and inspiration. We don't motivate, we don't empower, we don't uplift each other. We more so are jealous and envious of each other. That's what we succumb to in society. We don't know the true meaning of what it really means to be any of these things. Believe me, the reality is none of us know the true meaning. You may take this offensively or whatever like that, but the truth of the matter is this: in all reality, you have to know the true meaning. You have to be content in order to be a successful person with what your situation is. Accept it. Most importantly, when you wake up in the morning, you're grateful and you're thankful for where you are now. Because trust me, things was different a few years ago. Things was different. Basically, things was different yesterday. Successful people think also out the box. Successful people give themselves solitude within themselves and They're content. I'm going back to that word content also, because the thing is, you have to accept what it is. Accept what your reality is. Analyze it. Analyze it, look at it, and say, well, you know what? This is what it is. I'm still grateful, but I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to find ways where I can improve on self. Because only you know that you're worth it. Only you know that you're deserving. It doesn't take for other people. I mean, other people are going to see it in you, how great of a person you are. But that's only because you recognize that. That's only because you made that. You manifest your reality. Your energy is what's out there. Peep game. Like I said, realism is basically all those things in a nutshell. That's what realism is. But hey, this is if you want to call it a happy Sunday PSA, I'm signing off. Just had some thoughts on my mind, and I just wanted to share those things with you. Peace and love. Blessings to you all.